This is Sound Radio.
And hello. We're in the studio. We're live. I'm Paul. And we've got Andrea today. And we've got Casey.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
Hi, Paul.
Are you a big chatter, Casey?
Not a huge chatter, really.
Not a usual chatterer.
Chatterer.
It's all right. I'll make up for that, Paul.
You know how to chatter.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You know how to chatter. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And we're going to be talking about sort of after schools and all those people and sports clubs and all those people that come together to actually make our young people positive in what they do, enable them to sort of participate in activities outside school as they grow up, and actually have really good role models in which to do things. And you're part of that, Casey, aren't you? You've sort of gone through all of that, and you've sort of after school, and you play now for Prestatyn?
I do, yeah. Play for Prestatyn Town.
And that's quite a big thing, is it?
Yeah, it's quite a big thing. Semi-pro club. I've come through the academy there. I've gone through the school activities and things like that.
And you've been doing that for, I mean, that must be your whole life if you're sort of getting
since
he was 5 or 6 when we started taking Casey to football training. And it's quite funny to watch the young lads or the young girls, whoever's into the football at that age, because what do? They just chase the ball around, just follow the ball around for the first couple of years, really. But it's an activity, it's a routine. The managers are fantastic with them, the coaches are fantastic with them. Casey was very lucky to have particular managers, Lisa and was it Greg?
Lisa, Jason,
Neil
Gibson.
Yeah, so he's had quite a few managers now over the years who volunteered their time and produced quite good teams, really. I mean, Stars were fantastic, weren't they?
Yeah, it was brilliant, yeah. Great team.
So, you were never at home as a child? You were thrown out at an early age?
I wouldn't say thrown out. I just loved to be out. I was always, if I weren't at my mates playing football in the back garden, we were at the Relastro turf playing football there, and
brilliant.
Any sport we could play, we'd play it. I play snooker and things now. Yeah. Just go out to snooker home, have a few games of snooker, come home.
So you're very competitive?
Oh, yeah. I hate losing.
He's a bit like his mum, I think.
You must have some fun in your family.
I know, yeah.
Come Christmas, sport games, not a good environment. It is, but
you don't have who's going to turn the TV over, do you? You're sort of like, I've got the remote and I'm staying with it.
Indeed, there is, yeah.
That
might be me. Yeah, but I think because Casey's got involved so young with football, it has given him a bit more of a competitive streak. You do like to win, don't you? It gets quite frustrated now if his team have lost a match.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
That's serious.
Yeah. It's,
I do. I'm a brat.
You don't get... You're a brat.
I can be when it comes to losing, yeah.
Oh, crumbs.
Yeah. Right. But I think that the football led to a lot of doors opening. Yes. I mean, to be fair to Lisa and Greg and Jason, with the Stars team that Casey played for how many years, Case?
About
10?
More than that. 11 years.
About 10, 11 years. They did arrange a sports across Europe, different matches, different tournaments. I mean, we were in a lucky position where we could afford for him to go. Yeah. But, you know, that there are sort of teams out there that stay local. You know, it doesn't matter. As long as they're involved, I think that's the biggest thing, is getting your kids involved in these clubs and how important these volunteers are to the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to come back. I'm going to play a bit of music first, and we shall come back in a second. Did you play music? Did you like music?
I love music. I've just never really learned to play an instrument.
Oh, right.
I'm thinking about it, though. I am thinking.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So, you started at an early age, and you've received a lot of encouragement.
A lot, yeah.
How did that work in practice? I mean, what sort of encouragement? How did people keep you going on? Because when you get your parents, they sort of tell you what to do anyway. It's just they feel it's natural to them. And but how about your trainers and your coaches?
Well, if we didn't turn up to training, for one, we wouldn't play on the weekend.
Oh.
Which would make us everybody want to go to training, and you'd be scared not to go to training really.
That's Lisa.
Yeah. Other ways, like to learn to develop, we did different drills, and that's the good thing about coaches. They learn how to help players develop, throughout different sports, and they pass on that information down to the younger ones they're training.
I keep getting messages through here.
Oh, great.
I don't want that. Anyway, so you had all this training, but you were. They had this sort of psychological punishment. You're not allowed to play if you don't get there. So you had to show your commitment.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you were late, you had to do forfeits.
Go on, tell me the forfeit.
Just doing laps of the pitch.
Laps of the pitch?
Just laps of the pitch, yeah, if you were late, or it's just little things like that that'd make you want to turn up on time as well. Punctuality was a big thing.
And kit as well,
Kit.
you know, being tidy, presentable. That was quite a big thing as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
When they went away on tournaments, they had a shirt and a tie and pants. You're going to tell us a story here, aren't you?
The first time I went away to Spain for a football tournament, we got there, got to the hotel, all the lads got all their stuff. I forgot my football kit for a football tournament. I forgot my football kit. I left it back in Britain.
Yeah, it's fairly.
What did Lisa say?
Oh, she wasn't too happy, but it wasn't that bad really. We had spare kit, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
So you had to have all your kit. You had basic suits. You had your football kit. Everything had to be tidy. If you didn't do well, you had forfeits whereby you ran round the pitch and you weren't allowed to play as well. Did you have to do press-ups and things like that?
Yeah.
It sounds a bit like you joined the army.
It's the army. It does, doesn't
They
it?
didn't tell you.
They just didn't mention anything.
Do you think Lisa was maybe a sergeant major or something in the army, and she's got some tips from that?
It's not just that. You have other coaches that will do the same.
Yeah.
It's like you have mini games in training, and if you lose the game between your teammates, then you still have to do a forfeit, which is press ups or sit ups or whatever it is.
So you're quite fit now.
I'm not as fit as I was when I was in America, but yeah.
Crumbs. So you go to Spain. It's a bit like the army, a tour of the world. You're then over in America.
Yeah, I moved to America for 6 months to play football.
To play football in America?
Yeah.
That's not bad. So, and did Lisa go as well?
No, this was after I left that team.
Did Lisa go as well? In the suitcase.
Our coach over there was just as bad.
I think, wasn't he weird? Wasn't he really strict?
Very old school.
I think America, the training over, from what I can gather from Casey, from what he told me, the training was so intense. And it was over here, but when you listen to the sort of training over in America, it was very. I mean, you struggled for the first couple of months,
weeks,
didn't you? Yeah.
Well, for the first month of training, we'd train 4 times a day. Our first training session would be 6:30 in the morning.
6:30 in the morning?
In the morning, and then our last training session would be 6 o'clock at night. We trained 4 times a day.
Okay. Did you have a social life?
In the first month, our only social life was the people in our dorms, because there was nobody else in the college. So we just spoke to the football lads, and that was it. And we trained. We trained, ate, slept, trained, ate, slept. It was that routine for just over a month.
I think this dedication, though, I honestly believe the dedication that Casey's got and other footballers like him does come from the fact that they start at quite a young age. They're given these skills and the opportunities from these volunteers and from parents as well. I mean, we sacrificed a lot, didn't we, myself and your dad, every
Don't tell me
weekend.
you were out every weekend. You were running, you were doing press ups, and you were encouraging.
We
from the
didn't
front.
quite getting involved in the training side, but we did stand at the side of the pitch every weekend and go to all the tournaments, and it's quite
Long
stressful.
rainy days
Yeah,
and things like that.
we'd be out in the rain,
2-day tournaments.
Have some more music,
Yep.
and then we'll come back and see what else you did.
Okay.
I want to see you do a press up in a minute. I'm Paul. You're listening to Sound Radio, the only station to listen to on the North Wales coast, or in fact anywhere, because we're on the internet. You can talk to your Google, your Echo, and just say, play Sound Radio Wales. And there you go. You can be in your car, you can be on the beach, you can be at work listening to us. And we're talking about football, we're talking about coaches, and you've been telling us about the different coaches and how they're a bit rough to me, a bit brutal. And that's not saying the army's more brutal, but I mean they do sound as though they're brutal. So you train every day.
We did, yeah. I don't now. I train twice a week.
A bit soft, that really, isn't it? A bit
Compared
soft.
to America, very much, yeah.
Yeah.
We pre-season we train 4 times a day, and then in season we train every day, and then play a game. So we'd have one day off, train 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Have one game a week and have a day off.
All right. That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
This was in America.
Yes.
Yeah, it was quite intense, wasn't it? I mean, now that you're back and you're with Prestatyn FC, it's 2 days a week training, and you have 2 matches a week.
Sometimes 2, sometimes 1.
Yeah, one with the first team, and you play
No,
with
both. Sometimes we have 2 games a week with the first team.
Yeah, with the first team.
Sometimes I play with the reserves as well.
Yeah. So you've got to be fit. You've got to get in there. You've got to sort of be fit all the time.
Yeah.
I try and keep fit, yeah.
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 That's, and do you have to eat well? I mean, I presume you've got to have a good diet and.
I have a fairly good diet. It could be better.
Could be better.
Well, it should be better.
Don't say too much. Your coaches are listening.
But
Yeah, it's not too bad because I've always done home foods.
Home-cooked
I've
food,
always cooked. We don't do processed foods. So when you do home cooked foods, then you're going to be. It's better anyway, isn't it? You're using the fresh vegetables, and you drink a lot of water, don't you, for your training and stuff like that.
when I'm not drinking tea, I'm
when
drinking
you're not
water.
drinking, yeah, tea's probably his main vice, I think.
That's fair enough. That's it's not the worst thing to have.
No.
Caffeine is in it, but yes, it could be a lot worse. Could be a lot worse.
I think as well, Paul, that with Casey and other lads, girls, we've got nieces, Casey's got cousins, I've got nieces that play football. It does actually stop them from wanting to go down maybe the smoking side of things when you're teenagers and you think that, I'm going to start smoking because your friends are. I'm sure this has had an influence on Casey as football has come first.
Yes.
And, with many other lads and girls as well, I think their football comes first. So partying, although it happens every now and again, hasn't happened maybe as much as...
As he's telling you, I can see from his face, he's not telling
Is
you
he?
everything.
Yeah, well, I hope he's not telling me everything, because, not sure I'd like to know everything, but...
But almost.
Yeah.
The people who've supported you and what you've been doing sound a bit like tyrants, but they're giving their time, they're giving their energy,
Yeah.
and a lot of personal.
They're just as dedicated as I am.
Yeah.
They have to be. They can't expect dedication from me if they're not dedicated themselves.
So they can't be sort of 5 stone overweight just sitting in the corner saying run faster, run faster.
Doesn't really matter about how fit the coach is, as long as they know how to get the players fit and
Right.
they know
Yeah.
how to train the players and things like that. But as long as they're dedicated to making training plans and being at training and being at games and things like that, that's fine.
And training, it's not just a sudden flash of inspiration that you suddenly know how to train.
No.
You've got to think about it, you've got to learn, you've got to watch, you've really got to be dedicated on new tactics, haven't you?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, that's what I was saying when they first started. It was quite funny to watch because they're just so young and they don't understand the concept of skills and things like that. So they just, it's like the whole pitch, everybody on the pitch just follows this ball around. It's quite funny to watch.
Just run around.
Just run around. And they all just want to grab the ball and, kick the ball really. And
At a young age, yeah. Everyone just follows it around. It's quite funny, but it all changes.
I realised the point where I realised how passionate Casey was and how serious he was about his football, and he's going to kill me in a minute. He actually scored a home goal. I think he was about 8 years old, 7 or 8, and he actually cried because he scored a home goal.
No.
I know, and I thought, oh, he's taken this very seriously, and he has, to be fair, for all these years and still now. Yeah.
Just a question from Lydia Deanne Roberts, who sort of sent a message in. There's a question for Andria. Do you think volunteer-run activities for children are a bit impacted on by parents' caution and fear about who is working with the children?
Right, okay.
And do you think all volunteers should have a DBS?
All volunteers should have a DBS. I think they should. I think it's a difficult one. Yeah, you have to, as a parent, you still have to put your trust in another adult to be able to look after and train and coach your child. But you have to still be aware at the same time.
I think over the years with myself and Casey's dad, I think you get involved with your children's after-school activities anyway to a certain extent, in particular with the people who are coaching or teaching, because, football's not the only thing that volunteers provide a service with. There's dance groups and there's different types of other sports as well. So, yeah, I think it's a matter of getting to know the people that are involved with your kids and just following your usual safety procedures that any sort of teacher would, I suppose, is the DBS. And but no, I think you get to know your coaches, you get to know the people around you, because Casey was in this team for 10, 11 years. It's a long time, it's you get to know all the parents and the coaches very, very well. So yeah, it's going to be a worry, but you can just take the same precautions as you do in any other way of life, really.
Yeah, so the things that there's a subtle difference between being fit, having things whereby you've got to go round, and if you're a bit late, then you don't. And there's a subtle difference between that and bullying, isn't there? There is a line where people can't go across.
Yeah,
There's a fine line, yeah.
Yeah.
But the coaches I've had have always been very good at knowing where the line is, and they've never actually gone too far. They just know what buttons to press. Like they know how to get people to how to get the best out of people.
And hopefully they know they get to know the individuals that they're coaching or teaching or whatever, and get to know what their limits might be. And with anything, if to be successful at, then you've got to step over what you believe may be your limits. So hopefully you get somebody that's actually quite aware of the limits and how to push them a little bit.
Yes, so
because they do need pushing a bit.
So in answer to that question, really, it's that DBS are necessary.
Yeah.
And a good thing to have, because that gives a bit of history. But I suppose in any community, that history is known by lots of people being together, and that's what we've been talking about in the past, about communities, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a community. I mean, the football side of things for ourselves, it was a community. It becomes a community because it becomes a big part of your life. But once you have children, They're the biggest part of your life. So when they join clubs and they're doing their after-school activities, then you do become part and parcel of that, and you become part and parcel of knowing everybody around you. So
you can't just pass your children on and then say, there you go. You've got to do a little bit of background. I don't think that's a good idea, Paul. I mean, I can understand why some parents might feel the need to do that. They might be busy, they might be working and things like that. So it does happen, but to a bigger extent that you can, then I would say being part of whatever your children are part of as they're growing up helps you understand not just your own child, but understand the environment that they're working in, and it, you know, that bond grows, and you know, it's part, your kids part of your life. They shouldn't be a separate thing, should they? No, but at the same time, you've got experts who are putting a lot of time, putting a lot of effort in, and a lot of trust is also needed. But that's a trust about any part of the community. It builds. Trust builds. You know, you're not going to trust somebody in your first couple of weeks because sometimes you will drop your little one off at, you know, an after-school club or whatever else. You know, it's building a rapport with people and getting to know people, and making sure that the DBS is something that's part of that as well. And people like Casey, you speak to your mother all the time, you speak to your family, and I think that's always an important part about talking to your children, seeing how well they've gone on, seeing what they've been doing. And listening to them as well, because like my daughter Ellie, who's 18, I tried her with ballet classes, and she didn't like it. You know, she was her mind's too active for ballet. And instead of sort of pushing, then, you know, it was like, well, you know, you don't like it, it's not for you. So you've got to listen as well and be aware of how your kids feel about certain activities that they're doing.
You can't push your child into doing something they don't want, because it could have the opposite effect of what you want. Yeah, no, that's good. Let's have a little bit more music then, we'll come back to that. Right, we've had another question. Do you think football has helped with school in a way of being competitive with exams and grades, and to be punctual, tidy and focused? That's from Lisa. 100%, yeah. I think not just football, but sport in general, or any activity, will help you develop on skill sets that you need in school. Punctuality is obviously a big one that I learned. Competitiveness, you have to want to be the best, or do the best you can to actually get anywhere. Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is that you might have skills in. Then you need a passion in that, don't you? You know, whether that's in academics, whether it's in sports, whether it's in art, dance, whatever the passion is. You know, that passion is going to drive you on and give you the incentive to keep going, isn't it? I remember my mock exams. Do you remember? Yeah, I didn't do very well. I did terrible in my mock exams, and I was so annoyed with it. So I think the competitiveness came out of me, and I had to change it, because I couldn't stand being at the lowest grades. I was in like the lowest grades probably in the school all my year, and they were awful. And by the next, I had a year to turn it around, and I think if it weren't for football and the skill sets that I'd learned from football, then I wouldn't have been able to turn it around, and I did quite well in the end. Determination, I think. How many, you got 3 A's, didn't you? 3 A's, 8 B's. Yeah. 3 A's, 8 B's he got, but excellent. The year before in his mocks, he was lucky to get C's. Oh, right. And I think that I got a C. I don't think I even got a C. Did you not even get a C? So that shows that over the years, his training to do better has hopefully helped, as well as your teachers, I suppose, because they saw in you a lot better than that, didn't they? So competitiveness, I sometimes struggle with competitiveness myself, about whether that is to be competitive and do your best as an individual, or is that being competitive to beat someone else? If there's no one else there, do you still try to be your best? Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think it depends on the situation. In a team, like a game, like football, you're competitive because you want to be better than their team. You want to be better than them. You want to beat them. But if you're at like a game that you're only playing on your own, you want to beat the score you last had.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean? So you want to be the best you can be.
So it's twofold.
So yeah, kind of, yeah. I think so.
And the people who give their time to support you, what motivates them to come and help? Why do they could be sitting at home in the winter, sort of nice fire, watching Emmerdale and Corrie, and or coming out and training people to be better. What motivates them? What do you think?
I've never actually done it myself so far. I will do it at some point, but so I couldn't tell you. I guess it's a love for the sport or the game, a passion for whatever it is you're doing, or just it's like a sense of achievement out of trying to help other people become better, I suppose. I couldn't really tell you.
So they're helping you to get better?
Yeah, they would. I imagine they'd get a sense of achievement out of helping the younger people.
So you've mentioned Lisa. She sounds as though she's very important in your life.
She was when I played for her team. She was. She made me a better player, which probably in turn helped me make me a better person as well.
Right. So
there was Lisa, there was Jason and Greg for Stars, wasn't it?
Since then I've had Neil Gibson, Gaz Wilson.
Yeah. So there's been quite a few influences in the football side that has sort of filtered through to Casey being, as well as the parents inside from us, his parents and the school teachers. I'm sure they did a lot as well. With a child, bringing up a child is you think it's a lot of responsibilities on the parent, but when you think about everybody that's involved in your child's life, then all them individuals have an important role as well in developing them. It's not just about a parent, it's about a teacher, it's about coaches, it's about friends. It's a big thing. Your child's life is surrounded by people, isn't it?
Yes, and it is that general respect and that comes from that. It's because to do well, you must respect the people who are teaching you and supporting you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes. You're not just giving respect, you're earning respect, don't you?
Yeah. Which, have a bit more music. So that's a little respect. And now you're playing for a semi-pro team.
Yeah.
And you're doing well? How's the team getting on?
We started off okay, but we're having a little dip at the moment. It's just we got to show character and bounce back from the last result.
Right.
Great.
I love these words in sport, and I suppose it's in life, about showing character, about fearlessness, and about how you are as a person, which are there to support you and move you through difficult times, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%.
Even if you look at that in a short burst within a football game, Casey's character is sort of accentuated, if that's the word. It comes out. His strength of character and his determination within that short period of time of a match shows his character through, his general character as it is, if you know, if you understand what I mean.
That can be pretty fiery as well.
He can be a bit fiery sometimes. I mean, he got a yellow card, didn't he, for swearing at the ref?
That wasn't for swearing at the ref.
Oh, wasn't it? Okay, so
You did get a yellow card.
he got a yellow card.
Yeah.
But no, normally you're pretty calm, aren't you? And you're pretty
I can be,
good with skill, but his fiery stuff can come out as well. So your different sides of your character strangely can come out within that one period of that football match.
Do you think your character would have been different if you hadn't played football?
Yeah, I think it would have been. couldn't pinpoint what I'd be like, but I think it would be definitely very different. I think I'd be more angry. I don't know why.
Yes.
I just think I'd be more not as outgoing and more in myself and angry.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that sport has helped you, and the people
Definitely,
have helped you
Yeah.
all the way through. Because you must have been angry as a bit of a lad as well with some of your coaches, and sometimes not just said, "Oh yes, I'll do that."
Sometimes, yeah. You always get frustrated with people, no matter what you're doing, really, do you? Don't you? It's like, no matter what you do, you'll get frustrated with people anyway, but you just got to learn to get over it and just do it. If somebody's asked you to do it, just do it.
Sometimes, yeah.
If your coaches ask you to do it, then just do it.
Yes. It's that respect that comes from it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
doing
it's
it.
interesting.
Comes from respect and discipline.
I think as well, it's taught Casey with his football, with going to Europe and going to America, is the multicultural aspects of life. And Casey's played with a lot of different teams in Europe and was part of a multicultural team in America. And you get to learn different people's cultures. Casey was asked to represent the Prestatyn Football Club recently to go to infant school, was it? Ysgol Llys, to talk about racism. And was it racism in football or racism in sport?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was quite a good ambassador for that, really.
Yes, because racism has a tremendous effect on people in terms of what they're doing and what they say. And yes, all good, because it's taken quite a while to get through all sports, hasn't it?
Yeah, football's quite a big one, isn't it? Because although the players are multicultural, multinational players, sometimes I think fans can be shout abuse. That's been known. So it's a bit of a, although the multinational players are playing, there's still racism within the whole ethos.
And are there many coaches that are from different communities?
Yeah, there is a few coaches from very, very different backgrounds and
that's good.
Different ethnicities, but there's predominant, obviously because we're from North Wales, predominantly our volunteers and coaches are from here. But it would be good to have other coaches from different places.
So we need a lot more black and Asian people coming into North Wales, being part of the community, and actually getting involved in the whole sport.
The people that are here, that are already here, get involved and work on it.
That's
together.
brilliant.
Just everybody work on it together, yeah.
It'd be a nice way to, because when you advertise for staff in any sort of way, whether it's voluntary or whether it's paid or commercial, whichever sector you're in, I think you should encourage different, whether it's men and women or whether there's different cultures, people from different cultures, different backgrounds, because you get a different perspective as well, don't you?
Yes.
On things. So, but I think Casey told a funny story of a little boy, was it, when you went to give them kids a talk on racism, and they didn't know what racism was or what was. You asked them if they thought that they'd made a racist comment in the past.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me about it. What was it again? What did he
did
say?
A little activity where we give them all post-it notes and a pencil, and they could write down anything that they associate with racism and something they thought was they've said in the past that they shouldn't have, which could be racist. And one little lad, he brought it up and he said his comment from the past was, "You're poo because you're black," or something like that.
But
it just made me chuckle because they don't quite grasp
The whole element.
the severity of racism sometimes, do they?
No, I think so.
I think they were only about 6 years old.
Yeah, they've been very
about
old.
6 years old.
About between 6, 7 and 10.
But it's a brilliant way of awareness of
Yes.
bringing awareness, and also finding out what from that age group, what they are thinking in terms of racism. And I think Casey was a brilliant ambassador to go and represent football. And yeah.
So, what's the future?
For me, keep playing for Prestatyn, see where that goes, and sort of career out for myself.
Brilliant. Thank you for coming in. It's been really good. Really good to see you.
Been good to speak to you.
And we'll be following
Next week.
Prestatyn
Thank you.
and seeing how you're getting on. Thank you.
Lovely.
Next week,
Next week, Paul, yeah?
we'll be back and we have a new topic
Okay.
about communities and about what's going on. Thank you. Listening to Sound Radio.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Sound Radio Wales podcasts on iTunes, and you can find them on our website at www.soundradio.wales/podcast.